Today I'm going to talk about or share with you guys about what exactly does the Rahu in 7th house and Ketu in the 1st house looks like. Now first of all, Rahu is the north node and Ketu is the south node. So Rahu is also the north node in the 7th house, and then the other lesson is K2 or south node in the 1st house. So for K2 in the 1st house, it's very important to transcend your um, current romantic relationships, your playmate relationships, your romance, and your marriage into transcend them into right speech. That doesn't mean it means two things. One is to not deliberately seeking new relationships, right? That doesn't mean if someone wants to have a romantic relationship with you, sure, go ahead and accept it, right? I think it's like if you don't have the opportunity to interact with it, like don't try to deliberately chase romance, right? For you specifically when it comes to K2 in first house. The other one is transcend your current romantic relationships or marriage or playmate relationships into right speech. That is very important. Through the South Node, romance transcends into right speech when attraction no longer relies on ambiguity or performance, and desire is communicated plainly, ethically, and without entanglement. The other thing is very important for, especially the other lesson, it's very important for Rahu in the 7th house is about exploring new ambitions and leadership roles. Usually it's about finding a job, corporate job within corporate companies, but it's also about obtaining recognition or fame or reputation blamelessly and ethically, and that is very important. Now ambitions and most ambitions and leaderships can be carried out harmlessly. You just have to not persistently go into a self-cycle of deceit and try not to abuse people or punish people who provide right views, belief systems, and correct views and correct belief systems. You don't want to punish especially those people because right view is the basis of every good ambition and leadership role. So this is important. So in summary, it's about Rahu in 7th house is about exploring new ambitions and leaderships, roles, high ranking positions or responsibility itself is to, and K2 in the 1st house is to not deliberately chase any more romance or playmate relationships. It's also something like gaming relationships, like some gaming buddies, that is also correct, right? If someone tries to try to find you to team up with you, sure, accept it. But if no one tries to team up with you, try not to send them invites. This is very important for Ketu in the 1st house. And the last thing about important is why is ambition and leadership very helpful for romance, right? It's something like a conviction versus relationship dynamic and dilemma, right? It's very important because at least I don't heard of much news, but I know one particular couple, both partners are porn star talents, and they kind of like currently in a romantic relationship. And I was like, okay, it's not necessarily wrong, but um, both both partners have extremely weak conviction that leads to currently their fame and reputation leads them in the wrong way, right? Now, my personal belief is that I believe there's a life after rebirth, right? Life after death. There's kind of rebirth cycle. So, you know, it could be my own personal belief, but you don't want to gamble it. If you don't have any good ambitions or responsibility or leadership roles to back up your romantic relationship, these two will be separate very easily, because they will like be reborn into different realms of beings, and they will like their romantic relationship will just collapse itself. And even if it doesn't, the irresponsibility and no like clean or good ambitions according to right views especially, it's gonna make it the relationship easy to fall apart, or being very controversial, right? Their actions will be very controversial. So this is after my study and reflection on both the astrology and the recent incident, that is what the conclusion that I came into. So this is the end of the video. So I'm adding another thing about South Node in the first house when it comes to romance, for example. First house, the definition of first house is about interactions and relationships, which is very crucial to identify what identifies as first house elements. For example, romance, gaming buddies, playmate relationships, marriage, right? So it's very important, these four categories, right? The more fun, genuine, sparky interactions, right? Those are kind of classified under as the first house. So for Ketu or South Node in the first house, it's very important to transcend your current romantic relationships into to utilize more of right speech or correct form of speech when it comes to your current marriage relationships and romantic relationships, which is very important. Instead of let's see where this kind of flirting is going, like let's see where this kind of flirting, the direction of this kind of flirting is going, or try to withdraw yourself emotionally to provoke interest, or exploring and testing reactions randomly, or hinting instead of stating, right? You should try to integrate more of this into your romance life or marriage life. For example, I am if someone genuinely, right, asks you, does she like you, or does he like you, right? You should try to respond, I'm attracted to you, or I am not attracted to you, right? Be very honest. It's very important, especially right speech, is to never lie, right? It's kind of like when you confront something uncomfortable, or like an enemy, even confronting an enemy, you would still not lie. This is a very, very fundamental aspect of right speech specifically. Right speech has four subcategories, but the first one is always very important, is to never lie when it comes to your marriage or romantic life, right? If you say you're not attracted to her, you say you're not attracted to her. You say, for example, if it's right speech sounds like this, right? I am either attracted or not attracted to you, right? If you are attracted to her or him, right, and you can say, I want to explore this honestly, that is also fine, right? Just say what you want to say, but if you can, try to be encouraging, right, and always speak at proper time. But like, if someone asks, you should always answer honestly. This is very important when it comes to your romantic life and marriage life, right? Right speech can also sound like other examples, right? This is like ChatGPT, but I know something like right speech is. I know how right speech works. It's just if I try to say it, like, because it's kind of like inside a certain teaching, it's kind of like difficult to understand. So I will not try to point out more examples. Right speech could also sound like, I don't want to lead you on. Right speech could also mean, this is what is attractive to me or not attractive to me. If someone asks you, right, if a romantic partner or a potential romantic partner asks you, right, you should try to answer like, this is what I'm looking for in a partner, or this is not what I'm looking for in a partner, what I'm not looking for in a partner. That is also an example. And then one final one is that this doesn't align for me, and I won't pretend that there's not an attraction, and I won't pretend there's an attraction there if there's not, right? So that is very important for um, K2 in the first house, or South Node in the first house. So thank you guys for being patient. This is really the end of the video. Thank you.